Hi everyone, it's Lydia here. Welcome back to the channel. So if you're new to this channel, in this channel I just usually share some of my stories and tips about how I changed my lifestyle completely in the past 2 years by going to the gym, by reading more books, and by building up a healthy routine. Very occasionally I share some of the fun things happening in Hong Kong, the cafes that I go to, and the restaurants that I go. So in today's video I just want to share 3 quotes that recently really helped me a lot, and hopefully it'll be helpful for you too. So the first one is from the book, this one. The things you can see only when you slow down. It's a very small book. It's like a poet kind of book. It's super beautiful as well. It has all those like arts. It's just some simple lines, works for everybody. You should just take this book. Anyways, the quote from this book. On a piece of paper, write down everything that stresses you out. List everything you ought to do, including minor things, watering plants, replying to emails. The stresses are now contained on a piece of paper, away from your mind. So relax tonight. Tell yourself you will go through the list tomorrow, item by item, starting with the easiest. I find myself repeating this quote again and again in my head these days. Whenever I sense that there is something like overwhelm happening in my head, I would just repeat this sentence. It's okay, I'm gonna write it down on a piece of paper and I'll finish it one by one. I usually tell myself, remember the last time you felt overwhelmed, and then you just put it down on a piece of paper and then you finish it. It's always almost in my head. Whenever I have some stress, it just pops up. It's that amazing. The second quote is from Oprah Winfrey's What I Know For Sure. I've introduced the book in the past videos, so you can see some links here and there. This quote is, when you don't know what to do, my best advice is to do nothing until clarity comes. Sort of related to the previous quote as well. In life, we experience something and some moments that we don't know what to do. You know that there are some decisions you need to make, some important ones. Say, for example, whether do you want to go to the gym today, or do you want to eat a healthy meal, or something like difficult conversation with somebody. Sometimes at that moment when you have that thought, you just don't know what to do. It's usually the best to try to step back from it and try to clear your head a little bit. And because you have these questions in your head already, it will come back to you at some point. It will come back to you with the answers. As long as you allow yourself to have some room in your head. Usually what I would do is, if I don't know what to do, I would do the things that I know what to do. Say, for example, I have this habit of reading, I have this habit of going to the gym. Usually it's only like 30 minutes. 30 minutes is enough. The answer just somehow miraculously appears in my head with the solutions. It's a bizarre feeling. Maybe if you haven't experienced this, you question it, or maybe you are like my old self who's always trying to figure things out all the time. But it is true. You can try it sometime, and it's helpful. The last quote is a quote from my RPM trainer. These days I'm practicing the RPM exam, which hopefully I can pass the certification at some point. The quote is, of course you can. It's a skill. You just need to practice. I feel like, wow, this is a quote of the day that will be so useful for me even going forward. It doesn't have to be a book, or it doesn't have to be some famous person or celebrities who said the right things. I've been practicing for getting my RPM certificate in the past several weeks. I did horrible with the class. I did horrible like the first class with him. He's like, it's okay, everybody starts differently. Sports, it's not my natural thing. If you asked me 5 years ago whether I'm gonna train for RPM trainer, not in my wildest dream. I only started this like 3 years ago. I was almost scared of going to class. But then because I keep practicing, and nowadays I know that practice maybe makes up 80% of any kind of task that you want to achieve. I improved dramatically the second time. I even like deliver half of the 45 minutes class with a mic and everything. Wow, feels so real. And at the end of the class, I murmuring to myself, I really wish one day I can teach, like as a humble wish, you know. Thinking all the positiveness I can share with people and let people know that if I can do it, they can do it as well. And then he said that, of course you can. It's a skill, you just need to practice. I think the last quote is also a great one for lifelong learners. Research showed that we can actually learn anything at any age as long as we keep on practice, put on consistent effort. It's given time, unless it's like a super demanding kind of skills that you're trying to say, I don't know, become a doctor. Like, it just takes time, right? It doesn't mean that you couldn't learn it. And it also depends on what kind of efforts and time you want to put it into. It genuinely doesn't take too long before you realize that you make improvements. Like my RPM training, I started my first class less than 3 years ago. That was the time I went through the breakup. Now I'm training for the RPM coach. I was like, this is so surreal. And my trainer was like, yeah, one day you'll be on the stage, for sure. I think this quote sums up today's videos. When you don't know what to do, just write them down on the paper, item by item, list them out and start from the easiest. And do not think about the thing itself. If it's an important decision, sort of urgent, I feel like there's something in your chest, just do something else. You have the whole list in the paper. Start from the easiest. Check them off item by item, one by one. Because you don't have those messy to-do lists in your brain anymore, you can actually focus on the thing you need to practice. And then it's when you need to make decisions about the important things in life, about those things you are not quite sure. The answers will appear itself. And slowly, you gain trust in your own ability. You can just create this virtuous cycle for yourself. Believe in yourself, and you'll be able to do everything better and better. Right there, you can find answer reveal itself in your head naturally. They might be there all the time. It's just that you need the space from all those overwhelming, unnecessary stuff to go away and for it to tell you, hey, I'm here. And now you can because you've written them down and because you've checked them off and because you've been practicing. So that sums up the video today. My 3 favorite quotes recently. I hope that it can be helpful for you. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and please subscribe. And you can also follow me on Instagram. I will share a lot more about Hong Kong and some interesting things on Instagram. I will see you next time. Hopefully you'll come back. Bye.